And tonight's St. Jude's Story of Hope, we introduce you to a Chattanooga native who fought a brave battle with cancer not once, not twice, but 3 times.
As you can imagine, it took years of treatment, but she eventually won. Lori Mitchell talked to the woman who repeatedly beat the odds.
Lindsey Headrick spent much of her childhood at St. Jude. Her fight began when she was 9.
My mom felt like something just wasn't right.
Her flu-like symptoms turned out to be leukemia. As Lindsey and her mom, Susan Gruwell, prepared to go to the hospital, more bad news.
Odd things like she's right-handed, but she brushed her teeth with her left hand, and she couldn't buckle her seatbelt, just these little mild things.
Lindsey was having a stroke. Her father, a doctor, knew what she was up against.
Just emotionally impacted, because he knew too much, you know. And when she first stroked and they pulled up the MRIs, he said it was like a battleground. Her brain was just, you know, it was just the most horrible images for him to see.
It was a race against the clock to get Lindsey to St. Jude. A man volunteered his private plane to take her to Memphis, and St. Jude brought in a doctor to attempt a procedure never before performed on a child. It worked.
I just remember waking up and there's balloons and everything, and everyone's looking at me and says, move your right hand. And I did, and everyone was just so ecstatic.
Her family thought the ordeal was behind them, but it wasn't.
He called and said she'd relapsed, and I just remember, you know, pounding my fist into a pillow and saying no. You know, I was not going to accept that she had relapsed. You know, as if saying no was going to make it not happen.
Instead of starting high school, the now 14-year-old would have to go back to St. Jude to fight cancer a second time.
So I feel like physically for me it was easier. Physically and emotionally, because I kind of knew what to expect.
At 19, another devastating diagnosis. The cancer had returned. This time, Lindsey would need a bone marrow transplant, and her sister was a perfect match. Nearly 20 years after her original diagnosis, Lindsey is cancer-free. She is a wife and a mom to twin girls.
Through a mighty miracle, we did fertility treatments, and my daughters are now 17 months.
She's an oncology nurse, helping patients with the same compassion she received. Lindsey says she wouldn't change anything about her journey or the special bond she shares with her mom.
It's not a I did this, it's a we did this.
And now when Lindsey goes back to St. Jude for checkups, she brings her husband and children with her.
To have them just kind of completes the circle.
All right, here's how you can help patients at St. Jude buy a ticket for a chance to for the 2018 St. Jude Dream Home. The number is there on your screen. Buy your ticket before June 11th, and you're eligible to win a year's worth of groceries. All right, we are back after this. Stay with us.